Walter Payton Man of the Year award nominee. What does that mean to you?
You know what? It was something that just caught me from out of left field because I really just didn't expect any of that. I'm thankful that the Eagles nominated me, seeing that in me. It just made me want to roll my sleeves up and just keep going, just keep being me. Because you definitely don't know who you touch in moments of just giving your time, and that's all I was doing, just giving my time in times where I felt like it needed. I seen fit, and I'm just thankful to have this moment right now, honestly.
What's special about this? There's a lot of awards out there. Mm-hmm. What's special about this one?
Because you do a lot of we do a lot of things. Everybody in this building, and I feel like you don't realize how big of a role model you are to people sometimes, because we could be trapped in here always thinking about the next week, and then we're worried about the game. But it's the little things like when fans see you and get all excited, it's either you going, I'll be back, I got something I got to do, or you spend a little time, that little 5 minutes, could definitely change someone's life. So I know that for me, being a nominee, it just shows me that just keep being invested in your community, because it's definitely important. It's the kids for the future. When I get older, the kids that we groom now is going to be what we have later on in the future. So if I can change a couple people's mindsets, especially in dark times where they don't go off the ledge with it, by just spending time, man, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help and change people so that they can pay it forward and help someone else.
Bring that dub back. And
it's cool because so much going on. We 11-1. I mean, the team is doing great. There's just so many accolades that's just going around just from people playing great football. And but this was big for me because I've accomplished a lot in this league so far, and that was, man, that's the icing on icing, because just to be in that talk, even if I don't win or whatever, I'm just thankful to be a nominee, and it just made me want to work harder.
Brandon, on the field, you got a pretty tough stretch here, 3 road games, 2 division opponents here. How do you take it to the next level and have that intensity without getting too high or too low here during this very critical stretch?
Just keep it simple. If you haven't been watching the media or checking yourself out, don't do it. Stay consistent on what you've been doing. Make sure that you taking it one game at a time. Super Bowl gonna be there when it get there, but we got to get there, and so we got to take it 1 week at a time, because it could easily slip just when you start feeling yourself. And I think that we put together a well-rounded game with all of us, firing at and going off. I feel like special teams stepped up in a big way. Defense stepped up, especially against the run where people was doubting us, and then offense just was being who they were. And AJ went off like he normally does, and I just feel like we had a complete game. And so just stay focused on that. Let's double down on it. Let's keep it consistent. Let's see if we can carry it to another game. And so we just got to keep challenging ourselves each and every week, because you can't get bored with winning, can't get bored with the details.
This NFC East division has just had an incredible turnaround from top to bottom here. Does it add a level of intensity going into this Giants game, knowing how critical each and every division game is nowadays? Oh, yeah,
it definitely does. These games, it can go either way. I'm telling you. You come in here thinking that you got somebody, and that's when they hit you in the mouth. And so our challenge to each other each and every week is prove it again. Let's prove it again. All right, it's going to start today, Wednesday. How we prepare, how we talk to each other, how we communicate, having fun with it. Not everybody's not too tense, but yeah, I'm just enjoying this moment, because, man, next thing you know, we be playing the Giants, then next thing you know, we on to Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So that's how fast these weeks going, because we having a lot of fun. I'm just trying to enjoy the day, because we got a lot to do, a lot of work to put in for these Giants.
Jalen won NFC Player.
Back to back.
Does he ever stop surprising you with the way he's been?
You know what? It's so cool, because I've been saying it all year. Like, watch Jalen, because I seen him work, because I was training, coming back from Achilles, and so Jalen would be up here working, and just seeing him by himself and just seeing his regimen of what he's doing by himself, and then being able to get with the guys and do all the routes and get the timing down with each other. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew he was gonna be good, but boy, he definitely done. I knew it was gonna be something special, but how special it is now, I'm just thankful that he, quiet everybody that was doubting him before. It's all on Jalen. He got the pieces, but now let's see what Jalen do. And I'm just happy that narrative is over. And now it's just Jalen, just stay consistent. Don't think too far ahead. Don't get too ahead of yourself or full of yourself, which I know he won't. But just keep being who you are, because it's ups and downs in these things, and it's not gonna be great all the way around. But you got teammates that got your back, and I know he's our leader of this team.
You think a lot of guys in the building feel that way?
I do. They love the game. They love his game. They love just seeing him out there making plays, and he got a lot of guys to go to. Like every week, I'm like, man, who is gonna be? It was AJ this week. Could be Quez next week. Could be Avonte every week. You know what I'm saying? Because they doubling 11. You know what I'm saying? It's so many opportunities for a lot of guys, and I just feel like even when you got Goddard back, it's pick your poison. I mean, offense is straight. We just got to make sure we take care of them by putting them in the best position as a defense for field position, and then making sure we do our part.
I mean, the week just started. I just saw Bradberry today, so I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to be like a little amped up for this game. He's been doing a really good job, this season. So, I think when you come from your former team, I think of course you're going to, have some feelings towards it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the circumstances were different, with him. I mean, they kind of released him late and stuff. I mean, do you think that adds like a chip on his shoulder and all that?
I can't speak for him, but, I just hope he continues to keep playing well like he has been. So.
You see him a little bit in practice on the other side. What makes him so good, so special?
He's very smart. He's very smart, and he works extremely hard. But I would say his knowledge of the game, he's seen it all. He played against a lot of good guys, and we even talked about it from time to time. And just based off your release, he know you only got a certain amount of routes you're about to run now. And I think that just come with with time, just playing this game over a long period of time. So.
AJ, this stretch is a pretty critical one here. 2 division games, but 3 road games back to back to back. Do you feel that level of intensity, and how do you kind of control not getting too high or too low despite how critical these next couple games are?
I think every game is critical. I think right now where we are, I think this game right now, this division game is the most important one because it's the next one, and we're going to treat it like that. We can't look ahead. I didn't even know we had back-to-back away games. I'm thinking about Christmas and all that other stuff, but we focus on this game right now. Try to get a win.
Your quarterback is NFC Offensive Player of the Week, 2 straight weeks. Last week he did it kind of with running. This past week he did it passing. What does that say about him? Just pretty much everything.
No, I think it just says a lot about this offense. I think, and whatever the defense is giving us, they try to take away the pass and we run the ball, and I think that's what we did a couple weeks ago. And this week was the complete opposite. And I think we really did a good job as an offense to adjust and just keep my foot on the pedal, And of course, he's making plays, he's making great throws. So.
Was that an early Christmas gift right there?
No, that's not early.
Where'd you get that from?
I don't know. That was
nice.
In my locker.
11-1. So really, I've just been focused on playing for the Eagles. I really haven't been worried about the Giants. But I am excited to go out there and play a divisional game and compete and hopefully get a win.
Nick was just talking about how you and Slay complement each other. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had that sort of other, that chemistry between the other guy?
I think when I was in Carolina and we drafted Dante Jackson, I think me and him complemented each other well, just like me and Slay complement each other. And it was a little bit of that when Dory got to the Giants with me and him. Of course, it was a different scenario because it takes a team to win a football game, and we just didn't have the team to win games then.
Is there anybody you talk to on the Giants still or keep in touch with New York?
Oh, for sure. I still got some friends over there. Leonard Williams, Dory, Tay Crowder, Darnay Holmes, Xavier McKinney. There's quite a few defensive guys that I keep in contact with.
Jonathan Gannon yesterday said he'd put your football character up against anyone in the world. It's really high praise. What does that mean to you?
I think it means I'm a disciplined player, and I pride myself on being disciplined and being dependable. So it means a lot to me.
Hey, James.
They have a winning record. They have a decent record this year. Would they be a better team with you?
I don't know. When I first got there, I thought it was going to be a better team with me, and we didn't do that. So I'm just glad to be part of the Eagles right now.
Hey, James. AJ acknowledged after the Titans game that he did have that game circled on his calendar, and he's clearly kind of like motivated by that emotionally. You seem maybe a bit different, or what kind of, how are you wired differently, do you think, or what motivates you in that respect?
Well, I think our situations were a little different. He was a receiver that was looking to get paid, by them. I don't know the situation with the organization, but he didn't end up getting paid. He got traded. Me on the other end, it was a decision that was caused by the salary cap, and I got released because of the salary cap, and then we weren't winning. So I understand that this is a business at the end of the day, so it's a little different.
The timing on your situation was obviously unique. Have you come to peace with that a little bit?
I have come to peace with it, and us winning a lot of football games has helped me with that. I'm part of the Eagles. We're winning, and I'm trying to keep that going.
You know their receivers obviously pretty well, Slayton especially. Like, what kind of things, how does that help you going into this game, and what kind of things can you tell, like, your other DBs about those guys?
Yeah, I know Slayton's primarily the main one that's still playing that I'm familiar with. And, his film speaks for itself. He's a deep threat, really fast guy. And Daniel trusts him with the deep ball. So they were already kind of aware of that. So there wasn't no need of me saying that.
Sure.
What's the teaching points, I guess, for you guys knowing that they have a quarterback who will take off quite a bit?
We got to keep him in the pocket. Of course, we got to get after him with the D-line, but you want to, first and foremost, keep him in the pocket because he can make a lot of plays with his legs.
Chance to get Avonte back this week, how big would that be?
Oh, it's going to be huge. We miss Avonte being out there, his energy, of course, his talent, so it's going to be huge.
As far as your level of play, do you think it's higher now or in Carolina going into the contract year when you signed for the Giants?
I think it's been consistent for the most part. We got of course, like overall, we got a better team here, so it's kind of hard to say, I know outside looking in, it might appear that my play is better, but for me, I feel like I've always been consistent. It's just a matter of me being in position to make more plays over here.
And of course, one reason I ask is because signing a one-year deal allows you to reset the market, potentially hit free agency, as opposed to the timing last year. As an overall player, how do you think your value is right now?
I think my value is pretty high as a player. At least I hope so. Yeah, it's different. We're winning now, and then when I got released, we weren't winning. Then also when I was in Carolina, we weren't winning a whole lot either. So, it feels good to win. I know that definitely helps out with the overall look of things when you get to the offseason.
You mentioned that this team was, you chose the Eagles in part because you thought, you had a chance to win. How validating is it to kind of look back at that decision?
It feels good. I feel like I made the right decision.
You want to stay here after this year?
I'm open to staying here. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's going to be business first, and it has to make sense for me to stay here. But and of course, they have to want me to stay here too. So,
how much do you factor in winning in the fact this organization is an arrow looks pointed up when it comes time to make that decision?
Yeah, winning is definitely a part of the decision for me. But it's more variables too that I really don't want to get into. But that's one of them for sure.
James, I know it's not your focus on every player. Saquon Barkley had another great year. You got to see him a lot, obviously, on the other side of the ball there. What makes him such a freak, I guess?
One, I would say the good man up above. Blessed him with a lot of talent. That's first and foremost. And, of course, he puts in the work, hard work. And, it's just hard to build that type of talent in the weight room. He was born that way, too. So I'm just glad to see him doing well because I know dealing with that injury the past 2 years, it was tough him fighting back from that. And to see him doing well makes me happy for him.
In talking to us just now, Nick said you won Player of the Week this past week. What about your game in particular you think stood out to the coaching staff?
I think I made some plays on the ball. I made some plays in the running game as well early on. And, I was consistent. I was always in the right spot at the right time for the most part.
A 6-sack performance, do you think the coverage has a lot to do with that as well?
I think we definitely affected the pass game. It goes hand in hand. They help us out and we help them out as well. So on this occasion, we helped them out.
I was talking to James on the sideline the other day, and you never see really James, too fired up. You never see him too down. I think his new name for me is consistent. He's just consistent in everything he do. If you just sit there and watch him, which I watch a lot of guys in the locker room, just how they take care of themselves and in their routine, how they do things. And James is always on the same time. The same routine in the training room, in the weight room, and the way that he just take care of himself and being a pro. We're really excited to have him here, and he's having a heck of a year for us.
I think he's a little more hype for this one. Like, how can he not be?
And James is gonna be James.
Does he have that other hype?
He's just gonna be, do his job. And I think I just said a second ago, he's gonna check his box and making sure he's doing what he needs to do to have the team win.
You've been around a long time. Have you ever seen this much talent in one D lineman?
No.
What makes this thing work with so many personalities, so much talent, so many guys that need reps?
The one thing is keep the rep count down for a lot of guys. We got some guys, some dudes that can come in and roll a rotation, and it's not a drop-off. And it's a special group of guys that all want it more, all understand their role, all understanding, what we need to do as a group to opposing offenses to win the game. And, we got guys like, you can bring in either Milts to LJ. Now we got Jordan back. So it's never a drop off when those guys are in the game, and coach obviously can trust those guys in any situation.
This team has been showing it, even on the offensive side. You got Jack and all them over there. They doing their job. It's just as if Dallas haven't left, but everyone misses Dallas, of course. But it's always the next man up, and our coaches pride us in that, and they make sure we're ready, and even the players make sure they're ready for to being the next man up, and with Josiah and Blank. So, it's good to see that when you got a full, complete team, and it's no drop-offs. There's no weakest link. So, that's the great thing about this team.
How hard is it to balance wanting to get back and be back on the field with having to be careful, make sure you're okay?
I look at it the way I just go out there and play. I'm make sure I'm feel comfortable, of course, but I'm not thinking about that when I'm on the field. When I'm on the field, I'm thinking about my job, what I got to do, and what ways I can, making sure I'm doing it at a high level. So if it happens, it happens. And that's just how it is.
How excited are you to get back out there?
Oh, I was excited, super excited. I was, ready to, I don't know, do something crazy when I wasn't playing. Just sit there on my couch watching. I'm like, it's week 2 now. I can start coming to the games. Yes, we got home games. I can at least go and watch. But no, I'm excited. A great feeling when you're able to get back out there. Shake off the rust and able to get back out there with the team and the guys, and that's the fun part. So practicing with them and laughing with them, and then getting into the game, and it's just easy.
What's it like watching the game at home?
It's different. You kind of watching it. I kind of know what we're in and all that for the most part. Then, I sit there with my family, and then I got a chance to talk to them while I'm watching. Like, what y'all running here? What y'all running there? And I just I just look like that, this or that. So, it's definitely a different feeling watching it from home. But ain't nothing like the court side seats when you on the sideline watching. Then you can get engaged, and like I said, I'm being able to help Josiah or whoever else needs it while I'm out there. So that's pretty cool.
So you're expecting to be able to play on Sunday, or?
Just a day-by-day thing. Like I said, I just got activated today, so, I haven't practiced yet. I don't know how it feels, from that standpoint of, reacting, and it's totally different from going out there and running and you break when you want you to break. So, I'll see how I feel once we practice, and then I'll have a better understanding.
When did you start running?
About a week ago, I started running, slightly. I was always in the treadmill and the water, underwater, then progressing up and up and up until I hit land. So, I've been running pretty well.
It's not. At this point of the year, it's pretty condensed weeks. You guys have to walk through Thursday practice and a Friday practice.
Yeah.
What's the indicator for you that you know you'll be ready to play?
Just the practice, other than the walkthrough. Just lining up against someone and able to react and run, and when you're not really noticing what's going to be given to you like an individual drill. So. That's when you kind of figure out when you're ready to play. From the most standpoint, I feel good running just period. So I'm just waiting on the reacting part.